Welcome, everyone. This is another Coaching to Flourish podcast. I'm your host, John Andrew Williams, and today we're here with Sandra Michelle Rovira. Sandra, welcome. Welcome to Coaching to
Yeah.
Flourish.
Thank you so
So
much.
excited to have you here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited too.
So Sandra's a coach. Sandra's been with us with Coach Training EDU and currently has her own coaching practice. Born and raised in Puerto Rico, currently from Miami. You were or are a professional event manager, and now you have a coaching practice called Path Joy. And your specialty, no, it's what we call it specialty, or what you've been focusing in on is diversity and inclusion coaching.
Yes.
That sounds apt for the time and moment in this time and place in history.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What's it been like having a coach focusing on diversity and inclusion with all of these things happening in society right now?
I think it's been like the perfect moment for me. As you mentioned, I'm born and raised in Puerto Rico, so I am part of the minority here, and I moved to Miami, and one of the reasons is because it was a diverse city. I always loved to travel. I did my bachelor in humanities because I wanted to know art history. So I'm like kind of a person of humanity. Like that's what I like to be myself. And this kind of wrap up my coaching part, and it gives me like a real sense of I can do this. Like I have, I'm not only on I'm in a diversity, a very diverse city that have people from all around the world. It's very close to my heart to help people uh, in diversity and inclusion, in collective care, how important it is for your personal well-being to live in a society that is more fair, that everybody can reach their best potential. That 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 for me, well-being means both parts, self-care and also the collective care. So we
Right.
need to be in a community that that everybody can do their best and reach their best potential. And in these times, inclusion and diversity is something that is really important to achieve that, to get there.
Right. Right. And this idea of collective care is powerful, so powerful. How
Mhm.
does that tend to show up in the clients you work with or in your own life?
I think I always I have seen it in the daily life. For example, people that have issues with road rage,
Mm.
or people that have problem with other people doing things to them, or that kind of um, daily situations. When we live in a society that is better and everybody's more happy, you avoid of those daily things that kind of take back your happiness that day, or that make you be angry when you don't want to be. And and also, of course, when we are in a fair place, or in a place that is that values everybody more, you can reach better things, and you can make those goals that you want to accomplish. So in my practice, I've seen it. Also, another thing that I get to realize is how people don't how people are more happy when they do more kind things. So when some people come, like, I just want to be more happy, or I just want to feel better about my life. And sometimes just doing acts of kindness, or being kind to somebody else, mentor someone, all that can help you even more than when you're helping the other person. So those are the instances that I've seen it with my clients.
Right. I know the support networks that people are creating and having, people to reach out to, uh, you know, that they become so crucially important as part of, when you look at a lot of the research around resilience and
Mm-hmm.
strength of network and strength of
Yeah.
support network really matters
Yeah, we see that.
tremendously.
Yeah. I see that a lot also even in social media, all these groups, for example, in Facebook, like for moms,
Right.
for so it's for people from our country, from different countries. So yeah, it's community is very important. It's definitely something that we all need to have our tribe and our people to make
Right.
it. There's no other way.
Yeah, I mean, I think that what's exciting to me is I feel like we're at another pivotal, like, up leveling in how in this effort to create a society that is more fair and
Mhm.
to have racial equality. Uh, how is this? I mean, this moment seems so apt. Like, but how is this playing out for you as you are like building your practice, like as clients are coming to you? How is this idea of being a diversity and inclusion coach, how is that playing with establishing a coaching practice?
I think it plays on different levels. Not mostly people don't go to a coach to learn about
Right.
diversity unless they really want to and they recognize that they need to be better on that aspect. That maybe now with all the issue, people are realizing, oh, maybe I need some help. I need to understand these things. So it's more of part of the conversation. Um, and and as I've been working as an event manager in different corporations in the hospitality industry, they are very people with with different backgrounds, and it's very interesting, like how you see how people their background impacts their life and their goals, and I don't think people really realize that they need coaching for inclusion and diversity until they get in a situation that, oh, I think I need to understand this better and need to need this better. But I think people should have it. People in corporations, human resources, leaderships in companies, everybody should learn and should understand diversity and inclusion, and to do better, to do their own job better, to serve better their people, their community, their employees. So I think it's also there is a big job on understand that we don't have all the answers. So we need to educate ourselves in diversity and inclusion. It's not something that is based on what you believe. You really have to educate yourself, learn, read, talk to people, and above all, listen to people.
Right.
Without that, there is no way that you can fully understand the all the different parts that move around.
Right. Yeah, I think there's something in this. I mean, there's something here, and I think coaching plays a role, a vital
Yeah.
role in
Mm-hmm.
moving this, moving understanding forward. I mean, this idea of, empathetic listening and really listening to the person and listening without your, like listening with not yourself,
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
the perspective of other, combined with, I think,
Definitely.
getting a knowledge base. There's so much to learn, the history and everything that we're in.
But I think you're completely right. Listening is, I think for me, has been the key.
Mhm.
Because everybody have their backgrounds, everybody have their prejudice, but when you sit down and you really listen, and I have to say that obviously the coaching school taught me that so much. And after that, I was able to really listen to people, like, and understand where people are coming from, when they're why they're scared of something, what they want. And because you can, if you haven't lived another person's life, you cannot be, you don't know. But when you really sit down and listen, your eyes just open. Like that for me has been the pivotal point, when I really learn, thanks to coaching, how to listen to people. And that changed so much my perspective. And it's it's one of the, I think one of the best ways to learn is just listening. Listen to the community, listen to the people, listen to your friends. um, I'm jumping in a lot of community meetings to really listen to people, what they have to say, how they feel. So
Right. Right.
that's how you learn more, definitely.
Yeah. And then I just finished Just Mercy over this past week. And I'm Still Here by Austin Brown. They're just so powerful. I mean, the information's out there. These books are out there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's in, yeah, I 100% agree. This is work, you know, diversity. It's not a sidecar issue. This is something that needs to be woven into everything. This understanding. There was a resource that Jennifer, part of our social media team, she brought about. There's this resource in it. There's a question. It's not asking the question, how can diversity be woven in as something that you look at for just like one or two sessions, but how, like, the real question is, how does diversity add to the understanding of this concept, every concept, and asking that for every concept. So it brings it as something that adds a richness and depth
Mm-hmm.
to every single topic. That was that perspective shift for me was monumental.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, yeah. It's for me, it's been like it's difficult because as human beings we tend to look inwards, which is fine, but you have to get up on yourself and like look like from outside. um that that can give you a shift perspective, like mm, in my case, as a Latina woman here in Miami, even Miami being a very Latin place, um I'm coming from an island where there's, we are Puerto Rico, this small island, everything is fun and over there. Um, Here, it was so shocking to me when I start to see all these racial situations, all the segregation, not in places, in workplace. I remember once being in like it's like a vineyard, a very big vineyard that we have here, and I saw three parties. Because they kind of separate the area in for private parties, and the parties were completely segregated. Like, and I was like, I have friends from every, like, I love to have friends from every ethnic. I love it. For me, that's what I live here. I love that. I say, white people, you live in Miami, you should have friends from everywhere. There's no other place to live like that. And I started talking, I started listening, and yeah, it's very ingrained and it's very difficult, but you have to do the work every day. It's like with your life, you have to do the work every day to really move towards your own prejudice, your own biases, and is part of what we are as human beings. So it's something that you have to work with, like everything. Like you have to work with your health, you have to work with your mental state. So it's part of the work that we have to do daily to move ourselves to be better persons and to reach our best self.
Right.
So
And
yeah.
I mean, some parts in the Just Mercy book, like a couple of things that have jumped out to me, uh, and it's part of the book club, and we're doing it this Friday. And I think you have a workshop too with us coming up. Um, there's this element of this work. It's not just like, it's not something that, um, how do I say, it's not something that like that needs to be done and then that's it. But
Mm-hmm.
um, it's something where we're looking at, this is work that offers a path of personal growth.
Mm-hmm.
that's going to make anyone who does this work a really
Mm-hmm.
powerful,
Yeah.
it's just a powerful pathway. I'd love to hear more about your past. Like, so where did you grow up? It's Puerto Rico. How did that, like,
Mm.
how does that influence you today? Like, what are the top few influences?
Well, I love Puerto Rico. I miss it so much right now. So, well, yes, I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. I was raised by a single mom. So the powerful woman structure has been ingrained in my life, and I will say Puerto Rico is a great place to grow up. You have nature, you have the beach, you have um it's a very fun place to live. And I was always involved in Puerto Rico in everything that is arts and culture. So it's also very rich in music, very rich in theater, history, because we have the Old San Juan area, which is so full of history. Um, and but being from an island that I see is so small, so I needed to kind of explore and travel. So I live in Mexico for 6 months. I also went to Spain. I kind of tried to travel, so I knew that I wouldn't continue living in Puerto Rico just because I need to move and to know and to kind of go to bigger places. Um, so yes, I decided to move, to have a jump of faith and move to Miami. No job, nothing. Come here and see what happens. And yeah, I did that with my husband. So we both kind of jumped into the situation, and it's been great. But my family is over there, so and the island has been for so many bad things like the hurricanes, earthquakes, the government is so it's I I left in 2016, so it was before everything started like to pile up. But I go constantly, and all my family is there, so I have communication with everyone. And yeah, it's been difficult for Puerto Rico, but it's like I think one good thing that we have in the sense is that because of this political situation with the United States, so we are citizens, but we do speak Spanish, so we have a very Hispanic culture. But we also have, the American culture ingrained because we've been a part of the United States for more than 100 years. Yeah. So I always feel that mix of cultures. Uh, I think Puerto Ricans are like very diverse in that sense. Like we have people from everywhere as well. We are completely mixed, so it's very interesting. Yeah.
Right. 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 What led you to, like, given everything, what led you to jump into a life coach training?
My first curiosity moment started when I was pregnant. I decided to jump in a health coach program to help me with my pregnancy, my nutrition during my pregnancy, and all that. And I love the structure of the coaching, the accountability part, the listening part. I love how coaching works as a method. Um, and around that time as well, I have so many friends who told me, I you're a really good listener. Like I have this issue. Can I talk? I feel like people kind of were giving me hints, and I say I should try life coaching. I didn't see myself like a health coach, like nutrition oriented. But I like the structure, so I started to have curiosity about it, and Google is our friend. So I started. I can be a life coach, like something that I can really impact people, like person by person, one by one, and do something that like that would make me really really happy. And that's how I started to have the curiosity. So I said, let me take the course because I want more out of curiosity, and I like I really like the method. I thought it's really worked for me. I have faith that it was gonna help people. So that's how I decided to jump into life coaching, and I don't regret it. Like, the skills that the people learn are amazing. Not only if you want to become a coach, but also for your life. Um, if you have like a corporate job as well, a leadership job, it's really help you. The skills are amazing for to develop as a person. So that's how it started. So now that I have more time, I'm gonna jump completely into it. Definitely.
That's amazing. What was the most surprising thing about your life coach training?
Oh, the part that surprised me the most was the type of listening, and also personally, like when we talk about the future self, is where I had more of my aha moments, and I realized how joy was the main goal for my each day. So if I can come to the end of the day and feel that I have joy that day, and I can finish my day like with with a little with a little moment of dancing, of listening to music, like, and just that, that makes my day. So um I think that was one of my aha moments. But above all, I would say the skills, like the listening skills, um the how to ask the correct questions. So all that is really, yeah, really amazing.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
What would your future self say? Let's say you, like, 10 years from now, she walks in right now. What would she say in this moment?
I think my future self will still be curious about so many things. I will still want to learn so many things. Um, but I feel that that it's gonna be a really positive 10 years, because everything is getting into the right place at the right moment. And when you have your heart, and when you know where you want to go, everything just falls into place. And I hope that in 10 years I can see a more uh, definitely a society that is much more happy overall. And personally, I am sure I will have uh, 10 more goals to to accomplish and things to learn. But that that is what makes me, move on. I want to learn, I want to explore more, and that's what makes me be me. So yeah.
That's awesome. What advice would you have for someone just starting out their coach training?
I will say to really dig into it, like really dig very deep, and practice all the skills. Um, in my case, I would love to have that time, more time to practice more, and to be open. You maybe go into with one idea, but if your mind is open, you can get so much more, and you can have so much many ideas. There is so much need of coaching in the world. So I think we need coaches. We need coaches. We need people that are there to help people. And there is so much need of it. So I will say, go with an open mind, with an open heart, to learn to see what is your place in coaching. What do you want to do? Who do you want to help? How do you want to do it? And everything will fall into place when you have all that figured out. But you have to have an open mind and open heart, and expect beautiful things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sandra, we're gonna have to get. I know we've taken a little bit of a break on the workshops with July just because it's the
Hmm.
summertime and the thing, but we need you to get a workshop on diversity and inclusion coaching.
Well,
Are you in? Do we have?
sure. I mean, for
Nice.
sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this community, this is it. This is exactly the kind of thing that we're actively as a community moving towards and stepping
Mhm,
into, and stepping more forcefully, not just in our statements, but moving into action as well. And I think
mhm.
this is where, if you look at coach training edu and how, I mean, even I got into coaching, it was to change and improve education, like it, I mean,
Yeah, I remember
after
you said,
systemic
yeah.
change,
Yes,
that's what we're
yes.
up to.
Mhm, mhm.
um, so
Yeah,
this totally
it's
aligns,
understandable. Yeah.
and
Mhm.
thank you for being part of this community and for bringing, for bringing you and your insights
Mhm.
to this
Thank you.
space.
No, it's a
Let's
pleasure.
do, is anyone, do we have any maybe let's do a quick Q&A, and then we'll, if not, sometimes there's a burning question, sometimes not, and we can ask in the Q&A, and you can always follow up with these on the Coach Training EDU blog as well,
Okay.
and give everyone a minute or two. So
Mhm.
Sandra, any final thoughts, last words as we wrap up this podcast?
I will say that in this time that we are living, just be more open to listen. And I like my one of my profound realizations is that we cannot be completely well. We cannot reach complete well-being without our our community being well as well. So self-care and collective care goes together to to really create the life that you want. And that's the way to really have a joyful life and to be to create that sensation that of happiness, like this is joy, this is happiness, and it goes together. We cannot just think that if we take care of ourselves we are good to go. We also need to take care of each other and have each other's back to
Absolutely.
be really
Absolutely.
well. Mhm.
I love that. There's a whole set, different feeling set, a whole new set around that empathetic motivation, like motivation for the sake of
Mhm.
other, that feels
Mhm.
so incredibly powerful. And people who tap
Mhm.
into it, it feels electric. And how
Yeah.
can you live, once you feel that, like, how can you go,
Yeah.
you don't want to go away
You
from
can go
it.
back. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, I'm in,
Definitely.
like, how do I change the world? It
Yeah.
feels too good to not do it.
Definitely. Yeah.
All right, here we
Mhm.
go. Um, Nadidi has a question here. I'm interested in how you will expand your specialism in coaching. How do you expand that
So
specialty?
I'm I want to actually do a certification. I can complete a certification. There are a couple available in, and they give you your hours and all that to have your certification ready. And the way that I plan to expand is as I mentioned before, I want to knock on the doors of those people that need to learn about diversity and inclusion. So my plan is to knock on doors of HR people, leadership people, to offer them the coaching, so so more people learn about it, and that way reach more people and get into the heads of more people. Um, so I'm planning on doing like that reach, like HR people, people from different corporations, leadership, in order to let them know you need to learn about diversity and inclusion because it's something that people don't think they need until they are in a situation that they need to. So that's how I'm planning on expanding.
Do it now before you get in a spot where you wish you had done it.
Yes, right. It's true.
Get educated now.
Look at it now. Yeah, yeah,
Gain the
for sure.
knowledge. Do it
Gain the
now.
knowledge and yeah,
It
yeah.
seems to me like when I think about coaching, like the field of coaching, like what
Mm-hmm.
some of the principles of coaching, and then what's required for, diversity and inclusion coaching. and they're and going back to what Tony said from
Mm-hmm.
a podcast a couple weeks ago
Yeah,
now.
I listened to it.
It's just so powerful that
Powerful.
it's so clear that there needs to be another knowledge base put in
Mm-hmm.
place, that just coaching is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
And this feels to me very familiar, because academic life coaching is the same way.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Yeah.
just have coaching working with young people, it's not enough. You need to have
Mm-hmm.
a structure. You need to have
That's true.
knowledge to work with. An understanding of, oh, okay, this is how the teenage mind works. These are the
Mm-hmm.
structures put in place, um, and I think that it's through the work of coaches like you, Sandra, on the edge of this,
Mm-hmm.
moving forward. This is going to make the biggest difference in the field of
Mm-hmm.
coaching, and I
Yeah.
think it's the future of coaching. Coaching is going to go back to looking at different. Okay, what's the knowledge base that's necessary here to move you forward?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. What, like, from this, like, where do you see, like, where do you see the path of coaching moving, from this spot?
I think that I've seen in the coaching world a lot of, wow, yes, we need to do this.
Yeah.
Wait, I haven't realized it. I need to tap into this. I've seen that a lot in different coaches that you follow on social media. All that. Oh, wait, and myself, because I have that sensitivity when I go to any place or I follow any coach or any something, I always look at the how the diverse are they, how much they plan on diversity. Um, this every group I always look for the diversity. For me, that's if I want to cooperate or to be part of something, they need to prove me that they have diversity in mind. And I one of the things that I see in the coaching business is what that in some parts that was missing. Like, where is the diversity? Where is the people? Where is the Hispanic people? Where is the Latin people? What is so um and I think that this moment has created that realization, and it's gonna expand so much because it the co the coach is gonna be, I think, very very crucial to move things, especially if we tap into the right people. We can move things forward with individuals or maybe in the bigger scale. Um, and I would love to see coaching like more accessible as well, that more people can do coaching. I don't know how that will work, but it's so amazing what people can do with a little bit of coaching, that if we can reach to more people and more people have access to it, we can do a bigger impact in the world. So I think not only diversity and inclusion, also accessibility. How we put this in the communities that need coaching, how we go to them, and how we tap into those people that really need it, but they can afford to pay. I don't know how it will work, but that's how I see coaching moving, like touching more life and be more important to the communities. And maybe organizations realize that they need coaches, that they need coaches in their organizations and in the communities to help. And I think it's so much. It's gonna grow. I just see it growing from this point forward.
Sandra, you get me all fired up. I'm like, okay, we got a good
Yes.
podcast, good end of the podcast. Break, everyone get to work.
Get to
Go
work.
back and
Yeah.
get that
No more.
project done.
Yes.
Do it.
Definitely. Yes. Yeah.
Let's get
we need
it
to. We
done.
need to get to the people. Yeah. Yeah.
Get coaching to the people.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
Sandra, thank you. Thank you for this
No, my
podcast. This
pleasure.
is fantastic. Naditi, thank you for the question.
Yes.
And for everyone else who's listening live, thank you for being here. For the community listening on the podcast, thank you for being a part of this Coach Training EDU community. This has been another cast of the Coaching to Flourish podcast. Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.
See you.